Okay, welcome back everybody. It's time for our story. Now Hannah's going to give us a clue as to what our story is about. So she is going to do a little bit of sponge painting. Okay Hannah, so you get the sponge there, dip it in, lots in, dip, 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 and sponge here so everybody can see. So cover it all, go, go, go. You have to do it with super cat speed. Good girl, keep going. You put a bit more paint in there if you want from your dish. Good girl, we get these seconds, we'll do a wee teeny bit more here. Okay, let's see. Do you think that's it? Right, so, oh, okay, good girl. We'll go around here, let's see. Right, so let's pull it off and see what we've got. So there we go. What have we got?
A heart.
We've got a lovely heart. So, as you probably guessed, our story is all about love. Now, so I know when I think about love, there's a children's book that we love to read in our house. And here it is. It's called Guess How Much I Love You. And Hannah, can you tell us who it's about? It's about
Big
two
brown-
rabbits. We've got big nut brown hair and
little nut brown hair.
good. So it's two rabbits and they're having a competition to see who loves the other person the most. Alright, so we'll put them down and they can listen to the story. Now, I'm going to need people to help me with this story. I want you to help me do the actions. So there's your bears. So we're ready? Will we get started?
Yeah.
So, it starts when Big Nut Brown Hair is putting Little Nut Brown Hair to bed. And Little Nut Brown Hair says, "Guess how much I love you." "Oh, I don't think I could guess that," said Big Nut Brown Hair. So, Little Nut Brown Hair says, "I love you this much," stretching out his arms as wide as they could go. So everybody stretch out their arms. There we go. So I love you this much. But Big Nut Brown Hair had even longer arms. "But I love you this much," he said, stretching out his arms. That is a lot, thought Little Nut Brown Hair. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Little Nut Brown Hair. "I love you as high as I can reach," said Big Nut Brown Hair. "That is quite high," thought Little Nut Brown Hair. "I wish I had arms like that." Then Little Nut Brown Hair had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and stretched his legs up to the top of the tree. "I love you all the way up to my toes," he said. Oh, there's Hannah's toes there. "And I love you all the way up to your toes," said Big Nut Brown Hair, swinging him up over his head. Oh, up on your feet again, everybody. "I love you as high as I can hop," said Little Nut Brown Hair, bouncing up and down. "But I love you as high as I can hop," said Big Nut Brown Hair, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above. "Okay, down you come." That's good hopping, thought Little Nut Brown Hair. "I wish I could hop like that." "I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river," said Little Nut Brown Hair. "I love you across the river and over the hills," said Big Nut Brown Hair. "That's very far," thought Little Nut Brown Hair. He was almost too sleepy to think anymore. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes out into the night sky. Nothing could be further than the moon. "I love you right up to the moon," he said, and closed his eyes. "Oh, that's far," said Nut Brown Hair. "That is very, very far."
Very far.
Big Nut Brown Hair settled Little Nut Brown Hair down into his bed of leaves. He leaned over Good night. Then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile, I love you right up to the moon and back. Okay, honey, you sit beside me, sit nicely. Now, so I think a lot of people who know this book well will remember that last line. It's got very famous, where he says, I love you right up to the moon and back. Now, so we can tell that big nut brown hare and little nut brown hare really, really love each other. But boys and girls, I want to tell you about an even better love. So big nut brown hare says that he loved little nut brown hare all the way to the moon and back. But I want to tell you about Jesus' love, because it was even greater. So there's something I want you to remember. So I'm going to need someone to help me with a bit of sponge painting again. And are they making too much noise? Thank you. Put them down. There we go. Don't touch them. Now, Zach, could you do a bit of sponge painting for me this time?
Yes.
So I'm going to hold it up, and there's your paint. Can you cover this page here with paint, please, Zach? And I'll hold it so everyone can see you doing it. And then we'll have to see. What Zach paints here for us. There you go. Right, I think that might do. So, I'm going to pull this away. And can anybody tell me what we've got here?
A cross.
A cross indeed. Because, wait till I tell you about Jesus' love. Right, Zach, can you hold that for me? And Hannah, you come round here. You hold it so that everybody on the screen can see. You hold it up. Right, Hannah. You hold this up. Set the bar down. And you hold this. Can everybody see it? Right, hold them nice and still. So what I want you to remember, boys and girls, what we're going to talk about now, is about Jesus' love. Because
He loves you all the way to the streets.
so
Everywhere the streets go.
so will you see? Let me see. Do you want to see how much Jesus loved you?
He loves you up the street and back the way the street.
Okay.
Jesus
So
loves everlasting.
now, so we're listening. Right, Hannah, hold up your heart, please. Because what I want you to remember is that Jesus loved you all the way to the cross and back. Okay? So just like in that wee story we hear about little nut brown hare and big nut brown hare loving someone all the way to the moon and back, Jesus' love was even greater, because Jesus loved you all the way to the cross and back. So we're just going to talk about that for a wee minute now. So I've written it down there. Jesus loved you all the way to the cross and back. And boys and girls, this is what Easter is all about. Because at Easter we remember that Jesus died, okay? And he died on the cross. But you know what? He died for us. He died for all the wrong things that we've done. Because, believe it or not, we really deserve to die because of our sin. But God sent Jesus in our place so that we didn't have to. So that is how much Jesus loved us. He loved us so much that he died for us. But remember I said he loved us all the way to the cross where he died and back? Because that's not the end of the story. Because Jesus rose again. He came back to life. And do you know what? That means that if we love Jesus, if we trust him, and we say we're sorry for the sin that we've done, for all the wrong things we've done, and that we love him and that we believe he died for us, it means that we can go to heaven when we die and live with him forever. So boys and girls, what I want you to remember is this, that Jesus loved us all the way to the cross and back. So maybe the next time you read this book, you will add in at the end that whenever you listen to Big Nut Brown Hair saying, I love you all the way to the moon and back, then you'll also say, but Jesus loved me all the way to the cross and back. Now I just want to show you a little verse that tells us all about this. It's found in Romans chapter 5 and 8, and I think Christina's going to tell you more about it later. It said, but Christ, that's Jesus, died for us while we were still sinners. And this is how God shows his great love for us. So there we go. That's the greatest love of all, is that Christ died for us. Jesus died for us while we were still sinners. Now, what I would also like you to do, apart from maybe just reading this book over Easter, even more importantly, I would like you to read your Bible. Okay? And like this is a Bible that we really love in this house. And it's this one here, I don't know if you have it, the Jesus Storybook Bible. It's a brilliant Bible. And in it, particularly, they've got all the story about Easter. And I'm going to just read a wee bit of this before I finish. And it says this, they nailed Jesus to the cross. Father, forgive them, Jesus gasps. They don't understand what they're doing. And they said to him, you say you've come to rescue us, but you can't even rescue yourself. But they were wrong. Jesus could have rescued himself. A legion of angels would have flown to his side if he'd called. If you're really the Son of God, you could just climb down off that cross, they said. And of course, they were right. Jesus could have climbed down. Actually, he could just have said a word and made it all stop. But Jesus stayed. You see, the people didn't understand. It wasn't the nails that kept Jesus there. It was love. It was love for us. And on that cross, the full force of the storm of God's fierce anger at sin was coming down. And it didn't come down on us who deserved it. It came down on his only son Jesus, who had done nothing wrong. It came down on his son instead of his people. And it was the only way that God could destroy sin and not destroy his children whose hearts were filled with sin. So boys and girls, I want you to remember that amazing, amazing love that God showed to us in sending Jesus to die for us. So whenever you get your Easter eggs this Easter, when you're reading some Easter stories, think about that really carefully. I think now we're just going to watch a wee short video and it'll just tell us a wee bit more about the Easter story. Thanks for listening, guys. Yous were great.